Why is my face so much darker than my neck? Wait, on camera it doesn't look as much as it does in person. Well, that's good. Hello everyone, I'm here today to share with you guys a video that I am very excited about because I'm actually very genuinely curious how this is going to turn out. And that is a video where I am splitting my face down the middle, and half of my face we are going to do with $1,000 worth of makeup, and we are going to compare it to $100 worth of makeup on the other half of my face. We're gonna see what it looks like when I first apply it, we're gonna see what it looks like by the end of the day, and just see like where is it worth splurging on some items and where can you save some bucks and like still have a really good look. And these aren't just any products. Like, I went through and picked out products that I'm actually really in love with, that I think are really great products, because I want to see what is this gonna look like with products that I love in both price ranges. What's a full day wear test gonna look like? I don't know, we're gonna find out. So make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already for new videos here every Thursday and also on Sunday. Click on that notification bell so you don't miss out on when the new videos go live. I also do new videos on my RachhLoves Life channel. I will link that down below for you guys as well every Saturday. And without further ado, let's get into this. All right, now that we're zoomed in, this is gonna be $1,000, this is gonna be $100. For the $100 side, it was actually came out to $99.55 under budget. On the high end side, we are at exactly $1,000, like exactly. That's what we're working with today. So let's start with the eyes first and primer. For the high end side, I'm gonna be using the NARS Tinted Smudgeproof eyeshadow base, and I'm just going to prime my lids. Pretty straightforward. And then for the affordable side, I didn't actually include an eye primer, but I am gonna use concealer to achieve a similar kind of effect. Now for eyeshadow, we're gonna go super bougie, very luxurious today. And I'm going to be using the Natasha Denona Tropic palette. This is what the palette looks like. It is very, very expensive. Natasha Denona is known for having some expensive palettes. So I'm gonna start by just creating a very, very neutral crease. I was like, what was that on my nose? But it's just like some shadow on the mirror. In hindsight, I should have probably picked out some high-end brushes versus some like drugstore alternatives. But most of my brushes are drugstore. And then what I think I want to do is take the Tiger Lily shade, this bright, bright blue, and use that as almost like a faux liner. Something that's really bright and just very, I don't know, like that shade's calling to me right now. Maybe it's because it is like super, super cold outside and I want spring so bad. And this whole row to me is just screaming, jumping into a pool. And I actually haven't tried it with this particular shade. What is this? Some cream on my nose, cool. Wait, let's just make it a little bit more brown on the lid first. The shadows are they're just so easy. Now let's go in and smudge some blue in. It's not as pigmented as I thought it was gonna be. Interesting. Like mixing it with a little bit of this bright like Laguna shade is making it a bit brighter, but now it's not gonna match the other side. Oh, that's not exciting at all. We are not off to a good start yet, friends. You see how blue that just went just by putting in the matte blue? All right, that's what we got so far. I'm so mad about that blue. It is not looking cute. But let's go on to the affordable side and we'll see if we can come up with something that looks a little similar and hopefully better. So for the base, I'm gonna be using the Wet n Wild palette. This is a Rosé in the Air. I'm gonna be using the two transition shades here to just kind of sweep some color all over, similar to Natasha Denona. Actually, you know what? That's pretty close in color. Good for me. So I think the biggest difference that I'm noticing right off the bat is the patchiness of the application for the Wet n Wild side versus Natasha Denona. Now, I do like these Wet n Wild ones and I think they're really like good, easy ones, but when you compare them straight against the Natasha Denona, it's not really close. And honestly, I should have expected that because that is just basically the common answer from everyone is that Natasha Denona shadows blend like no others. But when you see them like side by side, it's like, wow. Keep trying to like blend it. It's just not looking as nice. It's okay. Moving on. For the eyeliner, I'm going to be using this single Super Shock shadow from Colourpop in Luckfully. It has that same sort of pretty deep blue, shimmery kind of a vibe. I need a new brush though. Oh, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Like this is 400 layers on the Natasha Denona side and 1 layer on this side. Like I'm not even done and it's already so much better. All right, so the Colourpop side is definitely a lot more pigmented. I'm able to get a much crisper line on this side. Then on this side, we will like clean this up a little bit. We'll do our best. So yeah, it's kind of split 50-50 right now. So let's move on to mascara. Gotta curl them lashes first, you know? So on the high-end side, I have two YSL mascaras. First is a primer, and then the second one is the curler. What is it? Fossiles Flash Primer. We're gonna start with that. It has sort of like a pinky tint to it, which is always very interesting to me when I put it on. Now that that is on, wow, that's a look. And we're gonna go into mascara, and this is YSL again, and this is the curler. This is not curling my lashes at all. Not even holding it. In fact, it's taking away curl. Removing curl and adding giant clumps. You can add a little bit more to the outside here. Try and cover up all the pink. And on the affordable side, I'm gonna be using two different mascaras from Essence. One is their lash primer, and the other one is like a go-to one of mine from like years and years and years ago. Not this actual container, but I used to swear by this mascara. It's so good. We're gonna start with the primer. Get that on. I'm really proud of myself for putting in a lash primer on the $100 side. A lash primer. Like literally so not necessary, and yet, there we go. Boom, Ice Queen. All right, there we go. There are the two sides. What do you guys think? Any preferences there? I think honestly, I prefer the Essence side. Like it just looks more full and less clumpy. I do feel like I need to recurl both of them once they dry though, which again is pretty common for me. I feel like this is like drooping a little bit on both sides, and I usually have to like recurl it anyway. But yeah, that's where I stand. Okay, now we're gonna go on to brows. I know technically I should do like the rest of my face makeup first, but I don't care because I cannot stand looking at my eye makeup when I don't have my brows done. So for the high-end side, I'm going to be using my Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil, just kind of penciling in the brows. And before I go in with clear brow gel, I'm going to do the pencil on the other brows so I can make sure they're even. And I'm gonna be using the e.l.f. brow gel, which is actually a fairly good, though a little bit on the thick side, brow pencil. And now we're just gonna set the brows on both sides. One is with the Benefit Brow Gel, which you guys know, this is my favorite. And then on this side, we're going to be using the NYX Control Freak Brow Gel. Pretty close. Pretty close. So now on to the face makeup. This is where I feel like I spent all of the money. For the high-end side, for the primer, we are going to be using one of the, if not the most expensive product I have ever purchased for makeup. And it is the primer by Sicily. This is also a skincare product. It's supposed to tighten and brighten and just make your skin so much better so that when you put makeup on top of it, it just naturally looks amazing. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's pretty great. So I'm gonna take a little bit. Honestly, this is like putting $50 worth of product on my face right now. Oh, but it's so nice. It is so nice. Is that blue? Is that blue under my eyes? Oh, it was blue. Natasha. And then on the drugstore side, we are actually going to be using a setting spray and primer in one. This is by Milani. It is their Make It Last setting spray. It is for priming, correcting, and setting your makeup. So I'm going to cover up my face on the one side with the Natasha Denona palette. That's right. And we're going to spray on as a primer. Boom. Primed on both sides. We are ready. I feel like I got a lot of that in my hair. Look how wet my hair is right now. So now for foundation, the one on the high-end side is the Tom Ford Waterproof Foundation and Concealer. Now technically, although this is a foundation and concealer in one, you best believe I'm also doing a separate concealer. Actually two. And on the affordable side, we are going to be using the product that I've basically, I swear I've used this in every single video for the last 4 videos. And it is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. Yes, that's right, I'm using it again. It's so good, I don't know what to tell you. So we are going to dot these on the separate parts of my face, blend them in, and hope they match. So the Tom Ford side is way lighter, but it's okay. We'll make it like even out with concealer, hopefully. So for the high-end side, I actually have 2 different concealers I'm going to be using. One is a color corrector. This is by Giorgio Armani. It is one of my favorites. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with it. It is called the Retouch. I think it's actually, this is actually concealer in the shade 4, and it's like the perfect shade for concealing any sort of, and canceling out any dark circles. Ugh. Love it. And on top, I'm going to be using the Lancome Ultra Wear High Coverage Concealer, and this is in the shade Buff, which as I'm looking at it may be a little bit dark, but maybe that'll be a good thing. Maybe then we can like even this out a bit. And for the other side, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. I did a whole video testing this out, reviewing it, doing a full day wear test for you guys on this one. So we are going to apply it underneath. I'm trying to be very light with this. This is very full coverage. And it's also a lighter shade, so I feel like it should lighten up the other side and kind of make these even. Do you guys have a preference on which side you like better yet? Like, is there one side that you are thinking looks better than the other one? Let me know. I'm curious what you guys think at this point. It's a little bit dark, a little bit more yellow on the affordable side, but let's keep going, shall we? To set everything, I'm gonna start with this very fancy looking powder. This is by Givenchy Matte Finish and Enhanced Radiance Loose Powder. It has a number of different tones in here as well for color correcting purposes, and I'm just going to sweep that over the skin. And I'm also gonna sweep a little bit of this Universal Setting Powder from Laura Geller right on top. It just has a little bit more iridescence to it. And on the affordable side, I'm going to go all over with the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder, and this is in Fair Light. So now we're gonna do a little bronze. I'm gonna use the Terracotta Light one from Guerlain. Looks like this. very heavily perfumed. And then on the other side, we are going in with this one from Essence. It is the Matte Bronzing Powder. I'm gonna use a very light amount of this because my face already looks entirely different on one side from the other. I'm gonna use a very light amount of this. Okay. Blush. For the high-end side, we're gonna do a fancy new palette. This is by NARS, and it is their Exposed Cheek palette. It's super pretty though. Open it. There we go. Like, look how pretty that is with the textures and everything on it. Oh, love it. And then we have the e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush for the other side. This is a very nice blush. I really like the e.l.f. bronzers and blushes. I think they do a great job with them. So for highlight, I totally forgot that I had this product for both sides, and it is the Liquid Highlight. Should have put that on first, but we're moving past it. We're gonna use the Dewdrops by Marc Jacobs, and I'm just going to take a little sponge and just sort of gently press that on top of the cheekbones. And then on the other side, I'm going to be using, again, another one from e.l.f. This is the Jelly Highlight, which I recently just started using, and I'm going to try using it with the other side of the sponge. Just see if I can get it to blend a little easier. I found it was very pigmented the first time I tried it. I was like, oh, but maybe a sponge will make it blend a little bit better. Yeah, it's not bad. It's just a little streaky still. For the powder highlight, because one highlight is never enough, we're gonna use the Natasha Denona Super Glow on the high-end side. This is actually one that I love. I haven't used this one in a while, actually. I'm pretty excited. Really reflective. Let's just like blend that a little bit. Woo! That is strong. A little in the inner corner. Oh, I need to finish up under the eyes too. Totally forgot about that. And then for the other side, I'm going to be using the highlighting bar by Wet n Wild. I need another highlighter brush. Highlighter brush. Wow, this will work. Okay, those highlights do not match at all. This one's definitely more gold. This one is not. And this is a lot more reflective too. This is fascinating. Okay, just did a little bit of brown and some mascara under the eyes, but I do want to add one more thing to the under eye just to like, just make it pop a little. So over here, I'm gonna add a little bit of the Stila shade in Sea Siren, and I'm going to put that on a brush. I need a brush, hold on. There we go. And I think I'm gonna put it like right in the bottom, yeah. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but it's glittery. And then on the other side, I'm just wiping off this brush. I'm gonna use it again. I am using the Colourpop. This is the Jelly Matte Shadow in Hallucinogenius. Hallucinogenius? Yeah, and it looked very similar when I swatched it. So we're gonna try it. Like, the color is the same, but the level of payoff on the Stila side is like 1,000 times better. Oh, I'm so mad. So mad. I'm gonna add a little bit of the e.l.f. jelly highlight to it just to like make it pop a little. See if that does anything. It definitely doesn't pop as much, but like the vibe is still there. So now let's move on to the lip color. So for the high-end side, I'm gonna go in with, where did I put it? This is what happens when you do your makeup and you have 1,000 products out. You lose some. Hello? Hello? Did it fall under my chair? Aha! Found it. This is by Charlotte Tilbury, and it is their liquid lipstick in Charlotte Darling. Do that on one half. Oh, love that color. And then on the other side, we're gonna use the L'Oreal Signature Matte Lip Ink. And I think it's, oh, it's a little lighter, but it's close. Oh, that's real close. Good for me. I love this formula. I talked about this in Thursday's video. It's so lightweight. It has the most beautiful color payoff, and they came out with a great line in general. Wow. Wow, that's close. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so proud of myself. I did real good today. Now to set this all down, on one side, we're going to be using the Lancome Fix It and Forget It setting spray. I feel like my nose is going to be forgotten entirely in the process of trying to only get half of my face. And then we're going to use the Milani one on the other side. Ugh, why are always the sprays on the drugstore ones, why are they always so aggressive? So here we have the $1,000 side of makeup. Everything is set down or ready to go. And then on to the $100 side, or I should say $99.55 side. So you guys can see this is what it looks like all put together. But what do you guys think, just from a first putting on perspective? Which side do you like better? Do you like the high-end luxury side, or do you prefer the drugstore side? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm gonna see how this wears throughout the day, so I'm gonna go about the rest of my day. I will check in with you guys tonight and we'll see which one held up the best. Hey guys, it is now the end of the day. This is what my makeup is looking like. I cannot believe how similar they are. Like, how is that even possible? Like, how? Like, there are little things. I mean, it's creasing a little bit on the high-end side. The glitter is kind of fading down a little bit, but I didn't put any glitter primer on. The eyeshadow is kind of like smudging down into my concealer a little bit on the drugstore side. But the fact that it's worn like this all day is just so cool, and I'm really glad that I did this. This is a really fun experiment. I don't know, what do you guys think? Which side do you like better, either end of day or beginning of the day? Are there certain products that you like on one side versus the other? I like the L'Oreal lip product more than the Charlotte Tilbury one. I like the Colourpop liner better than the Natasha Denona one in terms of application. It just took like 1,000 coats to get this, and like it was very clear, even in editing. I'm like editing the video right now. The way that the Wet n Wild eyeshadow sits on my eye versus the Natasha Denona one, like there's a very stark difference that you can't tell right now with the rest of my makeup on, which is also interesting. But I like both sides, and both sides have held up really well. What do you guys think of this experiment? Are you surprised? Are you not surprised? Is there a side you have a preference of? Leave me a comment down below. Make sure you check out these videos on the side in case you have missed any. And that's everything. I hope you guys are having an awesome weekend, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Love you all. Mwah.